So let me get this straight. I took 80 kilos all up in the farmer's carry, and I carried that thing for 5 sets, 20, 30, 40 steps, whatever it was, 30, 40 steps, something like that. I did 5 sets of that, and then I went to my normal 180 for max reps. And I felt so weak that I was grinding by rep 3. Usually, even on a bad day, I can get 180 for 10. Now let's think about this. What the hell is going on? I've been thinking about it the last few days and I can't quite put my finger on it. What is going on there? Range of motion is as small as it can be. You are walking. Very minimal angles in the ankle, in the hip. There's nothing going on. Yet I'm dead. And by the time I got to 180 on the bar, warmed up as my normal protocol, got to 180 and it felt so crushingly heavy. And my knees were buckling. I felt like I had no strength in my legs. So do you conclude that as, well, your quads are fatigued, man? Some of you fellas said CNS burnout from all these freaking squatting days. I highly doubt that. I've been doing this now for a couple of months now. And this happens when I introduce farmer's carry. For me to blame anything else would be a hard sell. It has to be the farmer's carry. But why? Then I started thinking about what Dan John used to preach back in the day. And if you guys have seen that homologous man, that figurine which describes what your central nervous system sees: big head, big lips, big hands. These are the nerve endings in our body represented by size to scale, right? So genitalia, face, head, hands is essentially the bulk of our nerve endings. It's so much going on in our hands that when you use your hands in an exercise or wherever, if your job is heavy on the hands, you're going to be fatigued centrally because your central nervous system is sending so many nerves to your hands. There's so much innervation there that when you use a lot of it, you fried the central nervous system because you're basically using 80% of all the nerves in the body. This is why squatting is such a great exercise, because it removes the hands out of the picture. So you can do a lot of work with, let's say, much less central nervous stimulus, because you are bypassing a huge portion of the central nervous system, which is the hands. And so this is why they say squatting is the best thing for putting size on, because it's a huge exercise and it spares the hands, unlike the deadlift, RDL, and all their variations. So I do farmer's carry and I'm fried everywhere, absolutely everywhere. The central nervous fatigue from that simple exercise with no range of motion is crazy. It is more expensive than an absolute balls to the wall AMRAP set with 180. It's insane. Insane. So what do you do? What do you do? Of course, this all started with my quest of addressing the upper back. Simply when I train the upper back, when I put it on the map, squatting feels easier for whatever reason. Can't quite work it out. But the biggest weakness that I have right now is that I have this inability to stand there with the weight on my back. That's got nothing to do with my calves, quads, hamstrings, glutes. This is a function of my girdle, shoulder girdle complex. So how do you train that? What is the best way to train that? Probably the most expensive way to train it is through farmer's carry, but it's probably the most effective. This is the thing where you start getting into resource debates. Is it worth spending so many resources on the farmer's carry? I was watching a video by Josh Bryant. I don't know if you guys know who he is. I haven't seen a lot of him, but I know he's into like strongman training, and he's done quite a lot of coaching gigs in professional setups, like, you know, colleges around America and stuff. So a very well respected mind. And when you watch him train people, it's mostly strongman type of stuff. And he says that it's much better than any other genre of training. He was mainly hinting towards Olympic weightlifting, because Olympic weightlifting is so freaking technical that it's a huge barrier to proper operation. Whereas the farmer's carry, you just pick it up and walk. There's no technique. Yeah, sure, there's pointers here and there, but for the most part, anybody can do it. Pick up an atlas stone, pick up a sandbag, pick up a kettlebell, carry that, carry this, load that, stone here, stone there. Just real world strength with huge benefits. But my God, is it costly. Some of the training programs that I saw him, training sessions that I saw him conduct was simply, one was farmer's carry, like heavy freaking carry, and then some sled drags, and the guy was dead. Makes you think, man. Makes you think. I've watched a whole bunch of videos on farmer's carry. Guys are saying it works your calves, works your biceps, works your shoulders, works nothing better than the traps. Obviously the grip. Just makes me think. Just really makes me think. Imagine dedicating your whole training, everything, to farmer's carry. I like to entertain some of these ideas because it kind of like, challenges me into some of these thoughts. What if, just what if, let's just entertain this idea. Instead of doing 1600 days of squatting every day, what if I did 1600 days of farmer's carry? What would happen? What do you think would happen? I don't know. It's very complex. Obviously, I wouldn't have the ability to ATG squat like I have now. The mobility is a huge component. Farmer's carry, there's no requirement for mobility. But think about training something as so CNS demanding as a farmer's carry, training it every day and building up that, let's say, callus, the CNS callus for something like that. You would be strong everywhere. Man, it makes me wonder. And I've been pondering about this for quite some time. I've been pondering about why strongman competitors are so strong. So there's something about their training. Anyway, I'll continue to ponder in my own time, but these are the thoughts that were kind of running through my mind over the last few days. Should I progress farmer's carry? Clearly it is not. I was foolish to think this. They are not a good warm-up exercise. No. They need a lot more respect than that. They need to be treated at the same level as squatting. I saw something about a good standard is to have 2 times your body weight for a farmer's carry for whatever, 20, 30 steps, whatever it was. That's 200 kilos for me. Damn. What does that do to the body? Think about the unilateral forces. Think about, like if you were to do a heat map of the muscles which are working, where you are moving 200 kilos in a farmer's carry. Remember, Range of motion is not existent. Yet it is ending you. Interesting. It's making me think now, like, okay, I've long ago concluded that the squat is the best exercise, but is there a more functional exercise than a farmer's carry? Think about it. For the squat, there needs to be some teaching, some practice, some mobility exercises. It's kind of like Olympic weightlifting. Not everyone can get into an ATG squat. Not everyone can hip hinge. It's very difficult. Some of these concepts are very, very difficult to people. The first step foot in the gym without an athletic background. But you take somebody and you're like, just pick this thing up and just take it for a walk. With all things considered, is there anything better? Imagine just having a training program, periodization around farmer's carry. Your first exercise, you get warmed up and you do farmer's carry. And you freaking do farmer's carry a lot. Work up to 2 times body weight, maybe a bit above for X meters. And then you work your way down to like 50% body weight. And then finally you pick up 15, 20 kilos and you just work your way down until you can't freaking do anything. What would that result in? Because I can tell you, I was quivering in my knees, my quads felt weak, my core felt weak, my hands obviously felt weak, had trap soreness, like proper trap soreness. Think about the core. What's happening in the core while you're carrying 2 times your body weight and you're walking? So you're spending a lot of time on one foot at a time. Interesting stuff, really, really interesting stuff. Everything in me says I want to explore this. So tomorrow I'm going to come in and do my AMRAP sets. I'm going to warm up as per usual. And then maybe I'll do some farmer's carry if I have anything left after the AMRAP set. Interesting. Anyway, guys, catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.